What if what we call plasma is really just energy operating in ways that we can't see with our physical eyes, or even detect with our modern instruments? Well, in recent decades, we've come up with the idea that there's a fourth state of matter, plasma. Plasma, typically in physics, is defined as an ionized gas where electrons are free to move between atoms at any given moment. Plasma has a lot of very unique properties that actually give a more concrete picture of what the universe is and how it functions. NASA says that 99.9% of the visible universe is composed of plasma. And I think that what they call dark matter and dark energy might actually be related to plasma in some way. And the term spirituality has always meant the energy or forces that impact us at any given moment that we can't see or detect in our physical reality. It's for that reason I think that plasma might actually be the bridge we've been looking for to truly understand ourselves in relationship to the rest of the universe from a spiritual perspective. To begin, let's look at how plasma actually operates. Not in terms of how it behaves in a laboratory and what it does in physics, but rather the mechanics behind it that we've observed and are repeated across all scales of the universe. First, plasma has been demonstrated to form double helix structures and then form itself into cords or long strains that resemble coaxial cords or just wires in general. These are structures commonly called Birkeland currents, and they exist between solar systems and even galaxies. This self-organizing double helix structure resembles DNA in ways that we still haven't quite understood. And it appears that when energy organizes itself, it typically arranges itself in these double helix patterns. Another amazing feature of plasma that we've recognized is that when plasma is able to self-organize itself around a central core point, it's able to form outer layers or outer shells around it that are commonly called double layers. And in between those double layers and the core can be any gradations of density of electric charge or energy in different regions. The closer you are to the center, the more dense the energy is. And these double layers can actually stack one on top of each other, creating concentric rings or spheres around that central point. And we've seen them go as far as many numbers out, not just a single one. You can see this most clearly if you look at the different atmospheric layers of the Earth, such as the ionosphere, the magnetosphere. This self-organizing shell, double layers, this outer barrier, has even been observed at the far reaches of our solar system. And what these double layers essentially do are allow that central core to isolate itself from everything that's not self, and allows it to be an individuated being within a collection of other individuated beings, like the Earth to the Sun to the galaxy, and the galaxy to the universe. All of these structures are able to maintain their structure because they have this outer shell that separates them from everything else. There's more to this too. Plasma operates in different modes. These modes are commonly called glow mode and dark mode. Glow mode is what happens when a plasma is so energized that it starts to emit photons or visible light that our eyes can pick up. And this is actually the rarest type of plasma, as it requires an extreme amount of energy to reach the range that we can see with our eyes. Dark plasma, way more common in the universe, is a less energized form of that same plasma. It doesn't lose its coherence just because we can't see it. It's still there, maintaining its structure, just not as visibly. And when we think about how the universe is always trying to sustain itself in relationship to everything that's not self, what could be happening is that the universe is conserving its energy and only expending massive amounts to be visible by our naked eye when it absolutely has to. Because our eyes only see a very narrow spectrum of the electromagnetic spectrum. And that narrow spectrum is so high in comparison to the normal state of matter throughout the universe that it is actually very difficult to maintain anything that creates light at that level. It's why we have to run 60 volts through a light bulb so that we can see it. Although LEDs make it a lot easier because we discovered you can actually do this with a lot less energy on different types of materials. But when you want to light up a light bulb, which is using plasma to light up that incandescent light bulb, you've got to run a bunch of energy through it. And that's not very efficient, as we discovered with LED bulbs. So, if we remember that the definition of spirituality is the forces and energy that impact us that we can't see or detect with our physical instruments or eyes, I don't think it's a large leap to take that maybe these spirits are plasmas operating in dark mode. And quite possibly what we call ghosts or fairies or elementals or whatever you want to call them are really just the energies of the earth that have been able to self-organize into a state where they're able to separate themselves from everything that's not self. Because ultimately, the universe is just composed of energy moving around, interacting with other energies. And it's the ability to subdivide itself into, this is my energy, that's your energy, how do I maintain myself in relationship to your energy, is really consciousness. And with that in mind, since the energy is the entire universe, and it's all about negotiating how energy exchanges and how it coalesces to create different structures. When people in spiritual circles talk about you've got to get into alignment, or you're not in alignment with your highest self or your spirit or the universe, what they're really saying is that you need to get your energy in alignment with the rest of the energy that's moving around you. Because you see, humanity has been in a weird spot. We've created all these different civilizations, countries, cities, nations, and they're all built off of conquering our neighbor, taking what we can, and making sure it doesn't happen to us. This has framed all of our civilizations around exerting brute force to achieve some sort of goal. Now, this goes back all the way to the first civilizations, where a neighboring encampment would come and raid your camp, take all your stuff, get rid of all the men, and then use that as another branch for their group. And it exists into today, where when you have a problem, they say you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You got to work more. You got to try harder. You got to make sure you show up and do whatever you can to make it happen. But really, that's just a small part of it. Because if you look at something like a bird and how a bird flies, the birds only exert physical force in the environment when they're taking off or trying to course correct against the wind. In general, once they get in the air, they just ride those wind currents, sticking their wings out and letting it take them where they want to go. That's why birds are so efficient at moving around the environment so well. They're just interpreting where the wind's going to blow and then adjusting accordingly if they want to land or whatever, by just bending their wings and then creating a different airflow underneath them. They're not continuously flapping. They're not trying to fight the wind. They ride the wind. And that's what we need to do as a species. We need to stop doing things like burning rockets, which is just blowing up things at the bottom of a big cylindrical tube to lift us off the ground. We need to start understanding that we exist within a fluid energy pattern that is trying to coexist with other energy patterns. And once we begin to do that, by doing things like working with what's commonly called electrogravitics, or understanding that our body wants to heal and we just need to allow it to heal by providing it with the proper environments, that's going to be a complete game changer for humanity. And there's no better place to look than plasma to understand how energy coalesces and organizes around itself to create complex structures. This is what's usually called the Age of Aquarius. And it's about us as a group stopping this needless fighting amongst each other of trying to take each other's resources and getting into alignment as a greater collective so we can achieve things that 100 years ago seemed impossible. Things like creating an engine that moves without burning something. Things like providing just frequencies to a body so that it starts to heal itself or even possibly regrow limbs, as Dr. Michael Levin is actively exploring. We'll begin to understand that we are actually just fractals of the entire universe, recognizing that we are just a slightly unique form of it existing as a human being. This will unlock all sorts of new innovations and consequences that I can't even fathom entirely yet. Longer lifespans, new forms of communication, new forms of travel, etc. Part of that is going to be understanding that how our minds work in relationship to the world and how things manifest is actually tied directly to what we think, how we feel, and what actions we're taking. And even then, there's a bit of a lag between the universe or Earth providing us with what we're trying to manifest. I think the biggest issue is that as humans, our minds move so much faster than the material world that I know personally that I think I want one thing, and then I start to get frustrated that it's not coming fast enough. And then I move on to another thing, and then I go back to the thing I wanted to get, and I get sad that I wasn't able to manifest what I was thinking of. This is something we need to begin to rethink and understand that it comes from this will to dominate our environment instead of working with it. Real manifestation takes time. It takes time for you to give feedback to the universe, the Earth, and it takes time for the Earth to organize those energies to be in alignment with whatever you're trying to align. I think this is something we're going to get a much greater handle on over the coming decades. And honestly, it looks very exciting. And in a lot of spiritual circles, like theosophy, anthroposophy, and also just a general understanding of the cyclical nature of history, we're due for a new renaissance. We're due for the next golden era. And it looks like it's going to happen within the next 15 years. So, as we are in possibly one of the darkest times of human history, not from a everyone is dying standpoint, but from all these different human institutions are locking down on us and trying to control our every movement, what we can do, what we can think, what we can say, what we can challenge, that's going to open up a door that's been locked for about 400 years. And when it breaks open, a new golden age is upon us. So just to recap, I think plasma is a great medium to look at how energy moves in the universe, how it organizes itself, and how it could possibly be the spirit in spirituality. It operates in glow and dark mode, where glow mode is like neon signs and dark mode is like all the plasma that exists around us that we can't see with the naked eye. And remembering that spirit or spirituality is basically defined as the energies and forces that impact us at any given moment that we can't see, I think that's perfect. And understanding that means we can start riding spirit or energies like birds do when they fly. Not beating our wings against it, but riding the currents as they come to us, recognizing that we're part of that current, whether we feel separate or not. And that getting in alignment is the key to manifestation. Not just mentally, physically, or emotionally, but all three working in unison, in alignment with each other and the universe around us. If you enjoyed this, please consider visiting my website, signing up for my newsletter, and even checking out some of the products I have. I've got a great service I offer where I do what I call plasma astrology, where I look at the geometry of your chart when you were born and try to analyze what patterns exist for you and how you may have your energy function within this universe. Because honestly, astrology gets a bad rap because we're not looking at it as when Jupiter's here, the energy tends to act this way. Or when Mars is here, it tends to impact us here in this way. And understanding that the universe is just energy really changes how one should look at astrology. Also, please consider using some hype points because I really want to try to get this out to as many people as possible and really grow this channel to begin to grow a YouTube community, or just a community in general, that really supports bringing these ideas into the mainstream so we can really change this downtrodden feeling that humanity currently has, where there seems to be no meaning to anything we do. My name's Adam David Weichel. Thank you.